Will Canada Post survive? So they're out on strike again, and they were out on strike last year, I think for about a month. And they chose the busiest time for the post office to go on strike. I'd say that's a pretty good way to pay respect to your employer for, having a pretty good job and good benefits and good health care for you. But I want to speak about unions for a second, just briefly. I did mention this in my Teachers Talk video, but I do think unions have a place, but for me, largely for health and safety issues are the big concerns, not so much for wages. My reason for saying this is that really it's counterproductive to the employee as well as the business that may be involved. So when you go on strike, you are crippling the finances of the company that you want more money from. I'm not sure how this makes sense to anybody, but the other thing, and I don't think people really think about this, is that if you're out on strike for 4 weeks or more, strike pay is extremely negligible. If you have a 3 or 4 year contract, if you're out any more than 4 weeks, you've blown off any raise that you might get. So if it's largely a wage issue, I really think people should think about it a lot more before choosing to go out on strike. We also need to, posties, teachers as well, you need to stop clouding the issues. If you have a very serious issue, fine. But when you stick up for the part-timers, I have to say that they have nothing to do with you. They have their own voice. Let them speak for themselves. They're not a bunch of babies. Stop clouding the issues. And if it's simply a wage issue, going on strike is counterproductive. Now the thing is, you want more money. And I realize the economy is in the pits right now. But you need to realize that we are all taking the same hit. And in fact, the majority of people, a large majority of people, don't even make as much money as you guys do. So we feel it even worse. Now, the median wage for postal workers is $26+ an hour. But you also have an excellent retirement package and an excellent health package that a lot of other people don't have. And apparently you posties don't know how to add and subtract. The provincial governments, the federal government, Canada Post is running at a deficit. So I'm not sure where you think the money's going to come from. And what you're doing is working yourselves out of a good job. Some of you are already going to lose your positions, and it is, to some degree, your own fault because you guys all just want to make big money. if you're making $26 an hour and with your health care and pension plan benefits, I didn't do the due diligence to find out what Canada Post would have to kick in on your behalf, but I would have to say safely it's easily another $5 at least. You guys really need to think about that. You're really making in excess of $30 an hour. When I'm general contracting, I make $25 an hour. It's dirty, it's dusty. I ruin my clothes and I have to do heavy lifting. In the wintertime, it's cold. In the summertime, it's hot. I'm on my knees half of the time, and I don't have a retirement benefit or health program. So I would have to say that you have a good work environment, you're paid reasonably well, good benefits. I'd have to say you have a pretty good job. And also the fact that why should taxpayers, many of whom that you're asking money from, make less than you do? I'm not sure how you find this appropriate. Personally, I would put a wage freeze on you for 3 to 5 years, whatever the duration of your contract is. And if you don't like that and you don't want to go to work, I'd fire you. I know that there are people that would line up to take your job at your current pay, even without any upcoming raises, and they would appreciate your retirement and healthcare package. I'm sure that there would be absolutely no issue replacing you in these positions. So they're going to stop delivering door-to-door mail, which I agree with. They have to save money somewhere. So when I say that you're working yourselves out of jobs, some of your counterparts are going to lose their positions, and partly because you guys just keep wanting raises, and the amount of money that you've cost Canada Post by being out on strike. I do think it would be unfortunate if Canada Post were to fold, but I think that is where things are heading. It'd be unfortunate not, I don't know if Perlator or FedEx, I don't know if they would send a letter. I suspect that they would, but honestly, it wouldn't be the same, admittedly, no nice stamp on the envelope. And I think also it would hand some cards to other delivery services, and it would bring things closer to a monopoly, which is never good. We all know what happens when somebody can monopolize a situation. Everything gets more expensive because they can. I think that you posties should stop crying about money issues. I think that you should deliver the mail. I think that you should go to work, deliver the mail. Try to be a lot more grateful that you have a good, clean work environment, a stable job, a good pension, and good health care that a lot of other people don't have. Well, we'll see where all this goes, but let the part-timers worry about themselves. We need those part-time positions. There are people that are working full-time and need a second job to make ends meet. And that's another thing that you could do if, if you're short on cash, you can always go get a second job. The amount of people that have second jobs now is unreal. And I understand it's not nice working full time and then having to go home and work some more. I get it. But the other thing that you can do that is an option for all of us is that if you're not happy with your pay and you're not happy with your pension plan and you're not happy with your health care plan, then you should go find a more fruitful position somewhere else because you're obviously not happy at your job. Well, I hope Canada Post survives, but I've got to say that you bunch certainly aren't helping any. Have a great day, all.